one of the challenges you really have is that without a tool like this, it's like I said, it's really hard to really even do. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, to be able to dive into like, well, is it like the utility meter versus like what the meter I like to even just find that analysis and be able to do that? It's just
Right.
very, very, very time consuming and manual. So this is what we ended up building out originally for ourselves to gut check, are our meters all correct? And then it kind of got expanded where customers really were asking for this kind of data as well.
Yeah.
So this is an example here. So again, you could see, the light blue is basically what our meter's measuring. The purple is
Yep.
what the utility meter's measuring. And you can see like during this time window, it was way, way off. And we were trying to figure out what was going on. And what you can see here, if I shorten it up a little bit, it might be easier to see. But if you can see this day here, this kind of like, it's this little hump here, valley, and then a big hump
Yeah.
with a little
Yeah. Yeah.
there. That day is the exact same as this day here. It's flat, has a hump, valley, hump with a little dip
Yeah.
in the middle.
Yep. 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 I see that.
Yeah, so
And
it ended up
and
being,
even the valley after that is almost the same too.
and
Yeah.
it is. So yeah, so that's exactly what was happening. So the utility meter this day is the same, as this day here it's reporting. This day is the same as the next day. This day is the same as the next day. Basically, like this whole week here is
Yeah.
the same as the final 4 days.
Yeah.
And what was actually going on was that the site utility meter was having issues. And basically the way the utility was trying to figure out their usage was having basically like they backfilled it based on historic usage.
Hmm.
And which they actually, it's not, all things considered, is pretty accurate, in terms of like not having
Yeah.
the actual data, how close can they get it? It was pretty,
Yeah.
pretty impressive actually. But what really ends up happening is you get these, wild variations where it really doesn't match up with their actual usage. And what was happening was you would get a day like this, where you could see, this is what's actually happening at the site. The utility
Yeah.
doesn't have the actual data. It backfills it with historic data. And it picked days where the usage historically was actually significantly higher, to the point where it was creating those new spikes. So if you look
Yeah.
at say, if you look at our data, that big demand charge that makes up 50% of their bill
Yeah.
was 265 kilowatts was their biggest spike,
Yeah.
and they were getting billed for 300. And
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
$20 a kilowatt, it actually made like a sizable difference on their bill,
Yeah.
where it was actually, kind of manufacturing new peaks that didn't actually exist. And that's what actually triggered the bills being so far off.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Quite interesting. And the
Yeah,
utility just basically replicated the same data from several days ago or a week ago. And
yeah, yep. It was,
you did not even like take an average of the past 30 days. Maybe that would have been better. And it would have been harder to catch or harder to understand. But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah, honestly, I'm not sure exactly where the initial data really came from. Because really even back for, the original week that was repeated back here, that doesn't even match with our meter. So even that week might itself be a copy of, like there
another,
might be some
got it.
30-day average day that where it's just like,
Or
oh,
maybe that is the average that they're pasting. Got it. Yeah.
and
So
they
that,
just kind of pasted it twice.
so what happened ultimately for the cost? Did they get a credit back from the
They
utility?
did. Yeah, this one in particular, it ended up being it was a $17,000 refund from the utility, and we were able to
Wow.
use basically this data here, along with the bill calculations we have in Monitor to kind of go through the full refund process, and yeah, got a $17,000 credit for the customer.
That alone justifies Energy Toolbase for a long time to use.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, Monitor. Yeah, in terms of price, it's all
Wow.
in, including the hardware and 5-year unlimited user subscription. It's right around the $4,500 price range. So yeah,
Cool.
it paid for itself for 15 years in one month. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.